Hello and welcome. My name is Adrian Fort, but I like to call myself an aristocrat, and we are here, you and I, for a trailer review of Logan, the movie about Wolverine that maybe might actually be about a Wolverine that somewhat resembles a Wolverine that we knew from the comic books. Now, if you have not seen the trailer, or if you have seen the trailer but you have not seen the Red Band trailer, make sure you check out the Red Band trailer, because it does remind us that yes, this is going to be an R-rated movie. Not in the same way, probably, that Deadpool was an R-rated movie, but probably a lot more dramatic than that movie. Now, one thing I have to get into is the fact that a lot of people... I've always been a comic book guy, right? My whole life. When I was a kid, I was a comic book kid. And everyone has sort of had these moments where they describe from the movies getting chills because finally they're recognizing their characters on the screen, right? There's that shot from the Avengers where the camera pans around all of them as they're standing in a circle. And many people say that was the giddiest they have ever been in a movie because finally they were seeing a moving adaptation of these comic books that they loved so much growing up. Much has been made of the Christopher Nolan Batman films because finally we got a truer two-page Batman on the big screen. It wasn't all about laughs, and it wasn't all about this or that. It wasn't about being goofy. It was someone who was totally messed up being the Batman. Or Superman, from the new Superman. Not the greatest movies, perhaps. I've never heard anyone make the argument that the movie gave them chills, but boy, does he look like Superman, right? But this trailer gave me chills. Why? Because it is Wolverine. It feels like that character feels. And I think that the greatest literary moments are moments of irony, right? They're moments where we are sucked into the literature of something because something ironic has been presented. For example, the moment you become closest to Batman is when you realize that irony of the Batman is the true person there. Bruce Wayne is the mask, right? With Superman, the closest you feel to that text, I think, is when you realize that the Clark Kent character is an alien saying, this is what people look like. This is what people on this planet do. Very driven by work, things like that. The irony to the Wolverine character is the fact that he is essentially indestructible. Can't kill him, right? But, here's the ironic twist, he is incredibly suicidal. He hates living. He wants to die. That is part of what makes him such a fearless warrior, is that he can't really die. He doesn't know how he can die, but if this were the time, he'd kind of be all right with it. Now, what happens when you get a double ironic twist is a piece of literature or a film can become transcendent. And in this, we have this character of Logan who has always kind of wanted to die. But he can't die. But in this movie, he is losing his powers to heal. So maybe he can die. But you give him a reason to live, which seems to be this X-23 character, this little girl that is in the trailer there. Now, a couple of things from the trailer that really stand out is that you can't watch this without wondering whose funeral they're attending. It appears to be... I'm assuming that this is It looks like Patrick Stewart as Professor X probably dies in this. I don't know if that's a spoiler, so I'm not going to give a spoiler alert for it. It just kind of looks that way from the trailer itself. But there's a moment where Logan appears to be drinking at a funeral. And you have to wonder whose that is. If this sort of follows the Old Man Logan storyline, and he does say all the mutants are gone. Is that Cyclops' funeral, maybe? Is that Jean Grey? So I think that's a question that bears taking into mind when we go in to watch this movie. Also, boy, it really looks like Hugh Jackman and Patrick Stewart got together and said, we're really going to give this a go. We're really going to change these characters. We're going to change the ambiance of this movie. We're going to change the way that this movie universe is perceived by giving what appears to be an all-world type performance for these characters. These are very weary characters. These are characters that have been through things. This is not the type of movie that the other X-Men movies are, where we're maybe living in secrecy, but we're not afraid to fight. These look like people who have been fought out. And boy, I just can't wait for this movie. So, that's all I've got for this trailer review. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe button, and maybe you can call yourself an aristocrat too.